You know that drawer you have? Or maybe it's a box in the garage, just packed with old electronics you've totally given up on? Well, what if I told you that's not a pile of junk? What if it's actually a hidden treasure trove of value, just sitting there waiting for you? So let me ask you a question. The last time a gadget died on you, your phone, a laptop, maybe a power tool, did you ever really stop and think, is this thing actually broken? The answer is probably not what you expect. I want you to just get this image in your head for a second. A literal mountain of electronics. Laptops, phones, you name it, all piled up and just labeled junk. It sounds like something out of a movie, but this is happening every single day. And here it is, the big secret. The shocking truth is that most of the time, the device itself is perfectly fine. The real problem, the thing that sends it to that junk pile, is just the battery. We've been taught to believe that when the power source goes, the whole thing is trash. But that's just not true. Now, this isn't just some theory I'm throwing at you. This comes from someone who had a front row seat to the whole thing. Let's talk about an engineer who was right there on the front lines of this e-waste problem. Meet Daniel Hayes. For 11 years, this guy worked inside one of the biggest electronic recycling centers in the US. I mean, this is the final destination for our gadgets. So day in and day out, he saw exactly what we throw away, which gave him a perspective you and I just never get to see. And Daniel started to notice something, well, something really weird. When he first started, the stuff coming in was genuinely busted. Fried circuits, cracked motherboards. But then things started to change. He began seeing devices that looked practically new. The real aha moment came when he saw a whole pallet of laptops. Just on a whim, he started plugging them in. And guess what? They all booted up. Every single one worked perfectly. The only thing wrong with them? The batteries were dead. But sometimes, it takes something personal to really make it click. For Daniel, that moment was when his little girl's favorite toy just stopped working. He saw how heartbroken she was over something that wasn't really broken at all. It just needed a new battery. And right then, he realized this wasn't just about e-waste on some massive scale. It was about our own money, our families, and our memories getting thrown in the trash for no good reason. And that brings us to the part that hits all of us right where it hurts, our wallets. We know these devices aren't always broken, so what's the real cost? How much money is actually leaking out of our bank accounts because we replace instead of repair? Let's just break it down. A new car battery, that's going to run you about $150 every few years. Your laptop battery dies, that's another $120. And then you've got all the small stuff. Every little device is another $40, $50, $60. By themselves, they might not seem like a huge deal, but man, does it add up fast. So when you actually do the math, when you add up all those little costs for a typical family, you're looking at almost $500 gone in a single year. And listen, that's not a one-and-done payment. That's a subscription you never signed up for. It's a slow leak, draining your family's budget, year after year after year. And for what? For something you probably could have fixed. Okay, but now let's zoom out. Let's think bigger picture. If that slow leak costs you $500 a year, over a decade, that turns into a staggering $8,000 loss. Think about what you could do with $8,000. That's a family vacation, a chunk of a down payment, a serious boost to your retirement savings, all just gone. All right, I know that sounds pretty bleak, but here's the good news. We've pinpointed the problem, we know what it costs us, so now we can talk about the solution. And it's all about a concept called battery reconditioning. It's the key to stopping that financial drain for good. So what is this reconditioning thing anyway? It sounds kind of technical, but the process is surprisingly simple. It's not magic, it's just basic science. First, you figure out what's wrong with the battery. Then, you use some simple methods to bring it back to life. Finally, you test it out to make sure it's holding a charge, just like it was new. And the best part is, this works on almost everything. We're talking about the battery in your car or your truck, your laptop, your power tools, even the one in your kid's remote control car or an e-bike. The potential to save money is literally all over your house. And look, real people are already doing this. Take John from Ohio. He brought a totally dead car battery back to life and saved himself a huge bill from the mechanic. Or how about Mark down in Florida? He revived the battery pack for his cordless drill. He said it felt like he had a brand new tool, and that feeling of empowerment, that came without spending a single penny. For Emily in New York, it was way more than just money. She fixed her tablet's battery and was able to get back all these priceless family photos she thought were gone forever. You can't put a price on that. And if you want to see how these savings can really stack up, just look at Max from California. He's saved over $1,200 just by reconditioning batteries for his car and his home's backup power system. That's real money. So, as we start to pull all this together, it becomes pretty clear. Those so-called dead electronics sitting around your house, they aren't junk. They're a hidden resource. And learning how to tap into that is about so much more than just the money. It's about a whole new way of thinking. It really comes down to two choices. You can stay stuck in that replacement cycle where you're constantly spending, constantly creating waste, and pretty much at the mercy of manufacturers. Or you can adopt a repair mindset, where you're saving a ton of money, making your stuff last longer, and taking back control. And honestly, that's the bottom line here. This is all about regaining control from a system that is literally designed to keep you buying new stuff over and over again. The simple act of fixing a battery, that's not just being cheap, it's a powerful step toward real financial freedom. So I'll leave you with this one last thought. The next time something dies on you, before you toss it and head to the store to buy a new one, just stop and ask yourself, is it really broken, or is it just the battery? Because that one simple question could save you way more than you ever imagined.